name is Becky.
And we are the Sorry Girls.
And we have a super exciting summer DIY today that I'm like so amazed at how it turned out.
You guys, this has been so highly requested. Like the comments have been popping asking for a DIY hammock.
And I was like, how do you do that and make it look legit and not have just like ropes to a blanket? But don't worry, we figured it out.
We got this, and we do have a tutorial for you, but before we jump into it, you're gonna subscribe, right?
Please, please, please.
Right? All right, let's jump into it.
So to start this DIY hammock, we're gonna start with the fabric portion of the hammock. We picked up this fabric here that's canvas-like and it's weatherproof, which means it can get wet and it will stay a-okay. So we had this pre-cut to 79 inches by 41.5. That's about the size that we want our hammock to be. So the first thing we're gonna do is open it up and hem the sides. So the first thing we're gonna do is hem the sides an inch, but while we're doing that, we're also gonna add in these little cotton string cords for some decoration we're gonna do later. So these are basically just basic fabric rope that we got from the fabric store, and we cut them to 19 inches, and I have 30 of them, so there'll be 15 on each side, and I'm gonna space them about 5 inches apart as I'm pinning up the hem. So now everything has been hemmed and pinned in place, we can put this through the sewing machine and sew everything up. So now it's all sewed up and looking great. So this next step is totally optional, but we are gonna macrame in a pattern with the strings that we added onto the side of the hammock. So we're gonna take the first two ropes and knot them together a couple inches down. And then do the same with your next one. And then we can take the two outside ones and join those together and make a knot. And now we're gonna slide on a decorative wooden bead onto one of the strings. And then we can just unbraid the rope to give it a little bit of a natural frayed look. And because this end piece doesn't really have a pair, we can just give it a bead on its own. But besides that, we'll just continue knotting all the way down the hammock. Okay, so the beading and the macrame looks amazing. So now we need to move on to a step that's gonna lead us into the rope part that's gonna help hang the hammock. So what we need to do is cut little slits along the ends of the hammock to work as little tabs to hold the ropes on that we're gonna hang our hammock by. Okay, so we're gonna be drawing out little marks every 3¼ inches all the way down both ends of our hammock. And from that, we can cut in about 2 inches deep to make the tabs that we'll need.
All right, so next up we're going to make a clue, which is a series of knots and a little ring here that's gonna help us hang the hammock. First, we're gonna make a little weaving jig so that when we're actually stringing this through, it's so much easier for us, everything's spaced out properly. So we're just using a piece of scrap wood and some nails to get this done. So on our piece of wood, we're gonna start with the middle and just add a nail here. So this is where we're going to wrap the rope around, and we're just gonna put 12 of these total 1½ inches apart. So we have our 12 nails on here, and now I just want to clamp this to the table. And then we're gonna take a steel ring, ours is 2 inches, and we're going to put it 24-ish inches away from the center of our wood jig here. So this is gonna be very a la friendship bracelet, but that's why it's gonna be super fun. We have 100 feet of braided poly rope here, but we only need 50 per side, and we're gonna be making 2 clues of this whole thing in the end. So I'm gonna find the middle of this so that we can have 50 feet total. So I have my 50 feet now, and now we're gonna go to overhead so we can show you how to braid this.
Start by taking one end of your string and pull it through the ring from the back to the front and pull out about 4 feet in length. Leave this tail out. With the rest of the rope, wrap it around your first nail from the outside to the inside. Bring the rope up and through the ring from the outside to the inside. Bring the rope back down to the second nail and continue wrapping the rope from the nails up to the ring and back down to the nails all the way until you reach the last nail. Bring the rope through the ring one final time, and this should leave you with an extra 4 feet of rope on this side as well. Now it's time to get weaving. You should notice each loop has a top side and a bottom side. With a pencil, loop it through and gather the bottom rope of each loop. Push the rope tight to the top with the pencil. Using your 2 outside ropes, slide them through to the other side, through the gap you created with the pencil. With your end ropes now on the opposite sides, remove the pencil and pull tight. Repeat the process of gathering the bottom ropes of each loop and stringing your outside ropes through the ropes in opposite directions. Once you've done 2 lines, we're going to start skipping the outside ropes to create that triangle braided shape. With your pencil, skip the first loop of rope before gathering the rest of the bottom ropes. Make sure to skip the last loop of rope as well to keep it even. When you bring the side ropes through, make sure you string the ropes through the center of the outer loops we just skipped. Pull tight. For the next row, we'll be skipping another set of loops again. This will leave us with 2 loops that we have skipped on either side. String the pencil through the remaining inside loops and again, string your outer ropes through the center of the new loops we just skipped. Repeat this process, skipping an extra rope on each side until you're left with the final 2 inside ropes. Bring your outer ropes to the front and tie them together in a tight knot. Cut off any extra rope. You can now take the ropes off the nails, and there you go, you've completed your first clue. Repeat this whole process twice, as we'll need a clue for each side of the hammock.
All right, so we have our 2 clues made here, and now we need to add them on to the beautiful hammock that Becky made. So we're just gonna lay one out on one side, and then we're gonna take these little tabs that we have and fold them over with the loop in between. So I have all the clue loops pinned in, and now I'm just gonna go down and sew 2 lines to secure this all up and make it like a tube. Now that I've sewn my 2 lines, I've definitely tested it. It feels really sturdy, and now we can take it outside and hang it up.
Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, and just a little note on safety, like the boring stuff, but like the rope you choose, the fabric you choose, definitely the quality of the steel ring, all those things are gonna come into factor when talking about the sturdiness of your hammock. So just make sure you're kind of like picking the best things for you and the weight that's gonna be on it.
Yes, any rope you buy will have a weight limit listed. And just make sure you're not going with like cheesecloth for your fabric.
Right? All right, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure that you give it a like.
And if you loved it, please subscribe because we're so close to 1 million.
And we want to see you here more often.
We do.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.